Welcome to another episode of Tips from the Swamp by Absolute Control Irrigation Specialists Incorporated. Today we're going to look at the history of the Rainbird Par series Gulf irrigation controllers. The first one in the Par series was manufactured in the early 1990s and used a keypad type of front panel. It was completely self-contained as far as station output, communication. Those were all boards built inside of the unit. It was offered in both a 16 station or a 24 station model and was used up until the late 1990s when Rainbird upgraded to the Par Plus series. The Par Plus series, again, is a solid state unit. The difference here is it is capable of running up to 48 stations. It's also one of the first satellite controllers to use modules for the different functions. You had the faceplate. You had a power interconnect, which was sometimes referred to as a PIB, which is the unit where the power came into it, the face panel plugged into it, and all of the modules plugged into it, so the information was routed through the power interconnect. It also used 8 station output modules called a ROM8, which stood for Relay Output Module. They came in 8 station increments, and the face panel would read how many of the ROM8s were installed in the unit, so it would know how many stations, up to 48 stations. Later, as they developed, the replacement for the ROM8 came out, and that is the OSM, which is Output Station Module. The OSM is identifiable from the ROM8 because it has a series of LED lights to tell you what's turned on, and in some cases switches, so you could actually turn them on at the unit. That was up to 48 stations. Then they developed in the late 1990s, early 2000s, they developed the Par Plus ES series unit, which has the green faceplate. The Par Plus ES is capable of running up to 72 stations. It also required the use of the OSM module, not the ROM8 module. And the reason for that is the ROM8 module does not have an electronic registration circuit in it that the OSM does, that the face panel is looking for. Without the registration, if you plugged a ROM8 into a Par Plus ES and turned it on, the display will come up and tell you it has incompatible OSM. Well, the reason for that is there's a ROM8 in there, and that is not going to work. You need to switch the ROM8 for a OSM. At the same time, as we mentioned, you had the power interconnects. The PIB power interconnect for the original Par Plus series looked something like this. When they developed the Par Plus ES and included the registration circuit from the OSMs, they added components and circuitry to the PIB power interconnect. And that is identifiable if you look at the bottom of it by these electronic IC chips that you can see soldered into the board from the back side. That identifies it as a Par Plus ES. You'll notice there are 3 of them, as opposed to the PIB for the original Par Plus. There are no chips at that point. Now, the other version of the power interconnect board was for the new style Par Plus, which only would go to 48 stations, but also had the registration circuit in it, and it's identifiable again by chips in the back of the board, but you'll notice there's only 2 of them as opposed to 3. This would be a unit for a Par Plus new style. At the same time, you had communication paths that were being used. The most commonly is the 2-wire path, which used a 2-wire communication module, which was plugged into the power interconnect and plugged into a 2-wire 22 to 23 volt AC circuit coming from the central through the ground in a 2-wire path and connecting to this communication module. The other form of communication used a radio link module, which is identifiable because it has a 9-pin computer connection as well as the power connection that it needs to operate. And this is connected to a radio unit, which is how the communication was occurring. There was a radio in the central that sends out a signal that's picked up by the antenna at the satellite, communicated through this radio, through this module, and the face panel would get its signals from central by radio signal. And on this radio, there's a radio involved, as well as a radio modem card. All of these pieces are repairable if you ever have a problem with them. And at Absolute Control Irrigation Specialists Incorporated, we can and do repair these units if you would like us to. How to get the units to us is go to our website, www.absolute-control.com, and on our website you will find the contact information to get in touch with us. If you contact us and let us know what you would like to send in for repair and provide us your email address, we will be more than happy to email you a FedEx label to help you get your equipment sent in to us so we can repair it. This has been another episode of Tips from the Swamp by Absolute Control Irrigation Specialists Incorporated. This is Gator asking you to click the like position on the YouTube video if you like this and it's helpful. If you would like to subscribe to our series, click the subscribe button. That will allow you to easily view all of our videos as well as notify you when there are new videos that have come up for your viewing pleasure. Thank you and have a good day now.